What's up, guys? Good to be here. Glad you guys came. It was good to get a conference win on the road. I thought that was a really good deal for us. Anytime you can get a conference win, especially on the road, I think that's a really good thing. People don't realize sometimes how hard that is, and I thought our guys handled that environment well and did a good job traveling, doing all those things you got to do to be successful on the road. Offensively, I was pleased with the direction we're headed. Other than the 2 turnovers we had, I thought we did a lot of really good things. I think we're continuing to take steps in the right direction and continuing to improve each week. 2 turnovers that we had, Nick. The receiver, a little miscommunication on the route, which sometimes will happen. When you throw it something like we do, and then on the other one, I think Nick would like to have that one back. Kind of forced it in tight covers there, and then ball gets tipped. And you know how that works out. When the ball gets tipped, a lot of times it's a bad deal. So hopefully, though, we'll learn from that and continue to improve. I was really pleased with our running backs. I thought they all 3 ran extremely well. It was good to see Jalen get back, and he brings another dimension, I think, to our offense from a standpoint of route running and blitz pickup and all those things. Kind of an older guy that's played some, and so I thought he did a really nice job for us. And like I said, I think he caught 8 balls maybe and did a nice job, matched up on linebackers. George ran hard again, downhill and doing what George does well. And then Ito continues to grow as a player. And, he's got great vision and ability to cut and those kind of things. So offensive line played well. I think North Texas was ranked in the top 10 maybe in sacks or something. So, I thought our guys did a nice job of that. Some of that had to do with us throwing some quick game and getting the ball out, but in general, when we had to throw, those guys protected pretty well. I think we gave up 1 sack, so that's pretty good. And then our receivers, I think they continue to grow and improve, make plays down the field, which is what you got to have, and to win. Guys, the ball's not always going to be perfect. The route, the coverage might be different. You might have to adjust the route, and I think you're seeing those guys continue to improve as well. All right. Any questions?
Talked a lot about the running backs and having Jalen back. Does it kind of feel like everyone's settling into a role and also being able to open up the playbook?
Yeah, I think so. How we were talking about that in the staff meeting, that those guys are all filling the role of their strengths right now, which I think is important. All the good teams I've been on, it takes you sometimes 3 or 4 weeks to figure out kind of exactly what everybody's role is, because obviously some are better than others and some are better at different things. So I think Jalen getting back has definitely helped us and brought a new dimension. And Tez, being banged up here, it's just you want to play 2 or 3 guys really, because when you try to snap the ball 80+ times or 90, 100 times, those guys can't play every snap. So the more depth we get, the better we'll be, and hopefully get Tez back soon and even be more versatile, so to speak.
And you even got Ito jumping over a player?
Yeah, Ito. Yeah, it's interesting. I guess he's seen that on TV or something, but. Those guys, I guess they just react and make plays. It's hard sometimes to criticize running backs. You look at the film and you say, God, he should have stayed here. But you know what? You put guys back there. The game speed's fast, and you count on them just to be athletic and make plays. And I think that's what Ito did. I thought he did a nice job with that.
I know every game's different.
Yeah.
But it looked like, or it felt like, this past Saturday with the running backs. Would be kind of how you guys would like to have it go every week, where you got Jalen gets the majority early, and then it's kind of an even split between him and George and middle, and then Ito toward the end
right.
Able to make some big critical runs for you.
Early in the year that was kind of the plan we were trying to go with, and Jalen got hurt at Mississippi State, so then you're like, okay, we got 2 true freshmen and George, and who's good at what? Where do we need to fit those guys in? Is it too early to play those freshmen? All those thoughts, I think, go through your mind. So I think getting him back will help us define kind of their roles for the rest of the year. Hopefully they'll stay healthy, and that's a big part. And you're right. That we want it to go. We want the carries not to be one guy getting 30 carries. And we've had I think maybe George had 20-something one game. So that's happened sometimes. The flow of the game sometimes dictates that. But you're definitely right. We'd like to have those guys all play their role and play it well and keep them fresh. And I think Coach Simon did a great job of subbing those guys in and out.
2 games in a row, you gained over 500 yards. After this last game, and maybe even on the trip back, were the guys strutting around knowing what they did, or any anecdotes you can tell us about?
Yeah, I think they're definitely excited about winning on the road, and probably not where we need to be to strut a whole lot yet, but, you know, we want them to play with confidence, and anytime you play well and score some points, and if you look back, we still, you know, missed some opportunities, like a turnover down there really close in the red zone, had to kick a field goal or two, which is fine when you got a good kicker like we got. You just rather kick, you know, score touchdowns, but I hope we can build off the last couple of weeks and play with confidence, and I think that's a huge part of being successful on offense is being confident in what you're doing and what, you know, the direction we're trying to go. And I think our guys are beginning to grow, but we're a long ways from being overconfident. I can promise you that, because the team this week will get you right back down there for sure.
Casey Martin leading the team in catches, but finally getting into the end zone. How happy were you to see him, you know, hit Raider?
Yeah, you know, Casey's done a really nice job of coming in here, like we've talked about before, being late, you know, getting here and really adapting to the offense pretty good and pretty quickly. And you know, I didn't realize he hadn't caught a touchdown until the other night. You know, you kind of when you're coaching and just trying to improve, sometimes you forget about those things. But I know he was excited to finally get in the end zone and ran a good route to get there and executed like we want him to.
Excluding the two SEC opponents on the road, why does this team seem to operate a little better on offense on the road as opposed to here at home?
Well, that's a good question. I wish I knew the answer to that, because I definitely want to flip that this week. I don't think it has anything to do with where we are, other than we're continuing to grow, continuing to improve. You do, I think, have to have a certain mentality on the road where, hey, it's us against everybody else, because, you know, your fans aren't as many and all that kind of thing. And I think our team is kind of into that a little bit, but at the same time, I think it's just a continuing process of growing. We just happen to play, you know, we were off 1 week, the last 3 weeks we haven't been here at home, and I think that's just kind of a coincidence of us growing as an offense.
How did the offensive line play against North Texas?
Yeah, they played really well. Like I said earlier, I think we gave up 1 sack, and North Texas ranked in the top 10 in sacks. They did a nice job in blocking in the run game as well. And, you know, Coach Meadows is having to do a little bit of musical chairs there with some guys getting banged up and so forth. So doing a good job preparing those guys. You know, that's something that I think you've seen if you've watched this closely, is our guys up front are continuing to improve. Did a great job against Middle 10 too. So we're going to need those guys to continue to play well this week.